Hello, my dear friend. Welcome to Wise Elders Insight. I am so glad you are here with me today. Let me ask you something from the heart. Have you ever looked around your home and felt just a little overwhelmed? Maybe it is not a mess exactly, but things are out of place, the table is cluttered, or the mail keeps piling up. And when your energy is low or your schedule is full, it feels like everything just keeps slipping further and further away. If that sounds familiar, you are not alone. I have been there, and so have many other women in our community, women who have worked hard their whole lives, raised families, and now simply want a peaceful space to rest, reflect, and enjoy the next chapter. Today, I want to share with you 5 gentle habits that can help you keep your home calm and comfortable, even when life gets a little busy. These are not complicated systems or rigid routines. No, these are small, meaningful changes that are easy to remember and deeply kind to your body, your mind, and your heart. Habit 1. The 2-minute mercy. Let me begin with a simple act of kindness, not toward someone else, but toward yourself. It is something I call the 2-minute mercy. The idea is gentle and clear. If a task takes less than 2 minutes to complete, you go ahead and do it. Not later, not tomorrow, right now. You might wonder, can 2 minutes really make a difference? And I promise you, it can. Because the real secret is that most of the clutter in our homes comes from tiny actions left undone. A teacup left on the table, a pair of slippers not returned to the bedroom, a letter that sits unopened on the kitchen counter. These are not heavy chores, but when we let them sit, they multiply. Every small item becomes part of a larger wave of disorder. And before we know it, we are walking through rooms that do not feel restful anymore, not because we failed, but because life simply moved faster than we could tidy it. That is where this habit comes in. When you practice the 2-minute mercy, you give yourself permission to take care of small things in real time without waiting for the right moment. Because sometimes the right moment is simply now. Let me share something personal. For years, I would tell myself, I'll get to it later. After all, it is just 1 cup or 1 book or 1 pillow. But later never seemed to arrive. Instead, it all built up, and I began to dread coming home. It no longer felt like a soft place to land. Then I tried something new. I started asking myself, can I handle this in under 2 minutes? If the answer was yes, I acted. Right then, I placed the cup in the sink, I folded the blanket, I straightened the newspaper, and slowly, something shifted. My home felt lighter, and so did I. It became less about cleaning and more about care. A kind rhythm, a loving habit, one that brought a sense of peace without exhausting me. The 2-minute mercy is not about perfection. It is not about never having clutter. It is about giving your future self one less thing to worry about. And it is about showing love to the space that shelters you every single day. So the next time you see something out of place, take a breath and ask yourself, will this take less than 2 minutes? If it will, gift yourself that moment of peace, right there, right then. You will be amazed how quickly your home responds, with calm, with order, with gratitude. Habit 2. A loving place for everything. One of the most soothing habits I ever embraced is what I call a loving place for everything. It means that each item in your home, no matter how big or small, has a clear, permanent place where it belongs. Not just where it gets tossed or dropped, but where it is lovingly returned, day after day. Now, you may wonder why this matters so much. The answer is simple. When things do not have a home, they wander. Your glasses end up on the kitchen counter one day, the bathroom sink the next. Your favorite scarf disappears, only to be found under a pile of magazines. And every time you search, even for just a minute or two, It takes a little energy, a little peace, a little patience. But when everything has its own place, your home becomes a partner in your daily life, not a puzzle you keep trying to solve. Let me share a simple example. Years ago, I was always misplacing my keys. Always. I would set them on the dining table, the entryway bench, or sometimes in my purse, but never the same place twice. Then, one day, I placed a small ceramic dish beside the front door. That became the home for my keys. Every time I walked through the door, they went straight into that dish. And just like that, no more searching, no more stress. It might sound small, but it is the small things, done with intention, that bring the most lasting peace. Start with the items you use every day. Your glasses, your remote control, your phone charger. Choose where they live and make that their forever place. It could be a basket, a drawer, a tray on your nightstand. It does not need to be fancy, just consistent. This habit does something beautiful. It removes decisions. You no longer ask, "Where should this go?" You already know. And that simple knowing saves time, saves energy, and brings clarity. Even better, when you practice this habit, others in your home begin to follow it too. Family, friends, even grandchildren. When they see a pattern, they respect it. They return things to their homes without needing to ask. And suddenly, you are not organizing alone. You are living in harmony with the space around you. It is not about being strict. It is about being kind to yourself and to your home. So look around today. Choose one item that is always misplaced, and then give it a home. A loving, permanent home. One small step, and already, your home becomes more peaceful, more functional, more yours. Habit 3, the grace basket. Now, let us talk about one of the simplest, kindest tools I have ever used to keep my home feeling peaceful. I call it the grace basket. And yes, it is exactly what it sounds like. A small basket filled with grace, not pressure. Here is how it works. You place a single basket in the main living areas of your home. Maybe one in the living room, one in the bedroom, or wherever you tend to see little items scattered throughout the day. The purpose of the basket is not to make you clean right away. Instead, it offers you a place to gather the things that are out of place until you are ready to return them home. Maybe your granddaughter left a toy on the rug, or perhaps you set your reading glasses down on the sofa, a scarf over the chair, a magazine on the floor. Instead of making multiple trips all day long to put each item back where it belongs, you simply place it in the basket. No guilt, no urgency. Then, once a day, perhaps after your evening tea or just before you head to bed, you take a few minutes to return those items to their rightful place. One gentle sweep through the house, with your basket in hand, placing things back where they belong. 10 minutes of calm effort, and the clutter is gone. I started this practice when I realized I was spending too much time and energy cleaning up as I went along. It was exhausting. But when I gave myself permission to simply pause, to gather instead of fix everything immediately, I felt lighter. The basket gave me breathing room. One of the best parts? It keeps your home looking tidy throughout the day without the constant burden of cleaning up. And when you do go to return the items, it feels manageable. It is one small trip, not 1,000 tiny ones. More importantly, the grace basket reminds us of something bigger, that we do not have to be perfect. Life can be a little messy. That is all right. We can gather the pieces when we are ready. We can hold space for peace and for patience. Try this today. Place one basket in your living room or kitchen. Let it help you carry what you do not need to carry all day long. Let it bring grace into your rhythm. You deserve that softness in your home, and in your life. Habit 4. 5 minutes of evening kindness. Sometimes, the best way to bring peace into your home is not by doing more, but by doing less, and doing it with care. That is what this habit is all about. I call it 5 minutes of evening kindness, and it has gently transformed my home and the way I end my days. Here is the idea. Once a day, usually in the evening when the day has started to wind down, you take just 5 minutes, only 5, to lightly tidy one small area of your home. It could be the living room tonight, the bedroom tomorrow, the kitchen the next day. Not deep cleaning, not scrubbing or rearranging, just a soft, quiet 5 minutes of attention and kindness. I usually do mine after supper. I might wipe down the bathroom counter, straighten a few pillows in the living room, or return a few dishes to the shelf. Nothing heavy, just a few loving touches before I end the day. What makes this habit so powerful is not how much you get done in 5 minutes. It is the way it changes your relationship with your home. Instead of letting things build up and waiting for a cleaning day that may or may not come, you begin to see your home as something you care for gently, little by little every day. And 5 minutes really is enough. I used to believe that cleaning meant hours of bending and scrubbing, but this 5-minute ritual taught me that consistency is kinder than intensity. A little each day keeps things feeling fresh without wearing you out. There is also something emotional that happens during these 5 minutes. It becomes a pause, a transition. It tells your body and your mind, the day is ending. You have done enough. Now, let us prepare for rest. It brings calm to your space and to your heart. And on the days when I feel tired or unmotivated, I remind myself, just 5 minutes. I set a gentle timer, put on soft music, and begin. Almost always, I find that once I start, I feel better. Not because everything is perfect, but because I'm taking part in something nurturing. So I invite you to try this tonight. Choose one small spot. Maybe it is the entryway or the table beside your bed. Set a quiet 5-minute timer. Do what you can and leave the rest. Let that small act of care be your closing moment of the day. A little love for your home, a little love for you. Habit 5. Sacred surfaces. There is something truly powerful about walking into a room and seeing a clean, open surface. No clutter, no piles, just calm. That is what I call sacred surfaces, and it is one of the simplest, most peaceful habits you can bring into your home. This habit is about choosing 3 key surfaces in your living space, the ones you see or use the most, and treating them with special care. These might include your kitchen counter, your coffee table, your nightstand, or maybe even the top of your dresser. Wherever your eyes land most often, that is where this habit begins. Why does it matter? Because clutter loves company. When one surface becomes messy, it quietly invites more clutter. We see a few papers on the dining table and think, what is one more? Before long, the surface is covered with things that do not belong, and every time we pass by, a little bit of stress settles in. But a clear surface does the opposite. It calms you. It feels like a breath of fresh air, something quiet and welcoming. It reminds you that there is space in your life, room to rest, room to think, room to be. Let me share my own journey with this habit. I used to let things collect on my nightstand. Books, lotion, notepads, glasses, tissues, and the occasional teacup. It was not intentional. It just happened. But every night, instead of feeling calm when I went to bed, I felt a little overwhelmed. My last sight of the day was clutter, and my first sight in the morning was the same. So, I decided to try something different. I cleared everything off my nightstand, except for one small lamp and one book I was currently reading. That was it. The next morning, I woke up and felt lighter. Not because my room was perfect, but because that one surface greeted me with calm. Since then, I have done the same with my kitchen counter and my coffee table. In the kitchen, I keep only my kettle and a small bowl of fruit. Everything else goes in drawers or cabinets. On the coffee table, I have a candle and a photo of my children. No piles, no papers, just intentional simplicity. And do you know what? These surfaces became little anchors of peace. They reminded me every day that I do not need to fill every space, that sometimes space itself is the gift. If this sounds like something you would like to try, start small. Pick one surface, clear it off completely, then slowly add back only what brings you peace or serves a real purpose. A photo that warms your heart, a favorite book, a small vase of fresh flowers. Let the rest go. Each evening, return that surface to calm. It will take only a minute or two, but the feeling it gives back to you will last far longer. Sacred Surfaces is not about rules. It is about rhythm. A rhythm that says, this space matters, and my peace matters. And I deserve to wake up to a home that reflects care, clarity, and calm. So go ahead, choose your first surface, let it become sacred, and see how much lighter your days begin to feel. Bonus Habit 6. One in, one out. Now that you have learned the 5 core habits that bring peace and balance into your home, I would love to share with you a special bonus habit, one that gently protects your space from ever becoming too full again. I call it one in, one out. It is simple, and yet so powerful. Here is how it works. Every time you bring something new into your home, whether it is a piece of clothing, a new book, a kitchen gadget, or even a decorative item, you choose one similar item to let go of. Just one in, one out. It is a rhythm, a gentle agreement with yourself that says, I welcome what I need, and I release what no longer serves me. This habit helps you stay in balance, not just physically, but emotionally too. Because often, clutter is not just about things. It is about holding on. Holding on to the past, to guilt, to memories, to what-ifs. And the truth is, it can be hard to let go of something, especially when it once meant something to us. But the one in, one out habit is not about getting rid of things quickly or without care. It is about making thoughtful, loving decisions. It is about keeping space in your home and in your life for the things that truly bring you peace and joy. Let me give you an example. A few months ago, I bought a beautiful new sweater. Soft, warm, the kind of sweater that makes you feel hugged. But instead of adding it to an already full closet, I looked at my sweaters and chose one I had not worn in years. It was still in good shape. It had served me well. And now, it could serve someone else. I donated it with a smile, and my closet stayed just as calm as before. This habit is also wonderful when it comes to sentimental items. When we receive a new photo frame or a handmade gift, we can gently let go of something older, knowing that the love remains, even if the object does not. And the beauty of one in, one out is that it becomes automatic over time. Your home never reaches the point of feeling overstuffed. You do not need to do big purges or deep cleanings. You're simply making small, wise choices, one at a time. It also makes you more mindful of what you bring into your space. Before buying something, you pause and ask, do I love this enough to replace something I already have? That pause alone can prevent unnecessary purchases and bring more clarity to what you truly value. So today, I invite you to give this a try. The next time you welcome something new into your home, whether it is a gift, a purchase, or a little treat, take a quiet moment to find one thing to release. Let it go with gratitude, knowing that it has already served its purpose. You're not just organizing, you're creating space for new joy, new energy, and new chapters in your life. One in, one out. a gentle rhythm for a peaceful home and a peaceful heart. Bonus habit 7, the nighttime peace ritual. There is something sacred about the evening, the quiet hush that falls over the home, the way the light softens, and the gentle invitation to slow down. That is why this final bonus habit is so dear to my heart. I call it the nighttime peace ritual. And once you begin practicing it, you may never want to end your day without it again. This ritual is simple. Each evening, you take just 10 minutes to lovingly prepare your home and yourself for the next day. Not in a rush, not as a chore, but as a small ceremony of care. A way to close the day with intention and to wake up to calm instead of chaos. For me, it begins after I wash the dinner dishes and turn off the lights in the kitchen. I walk slowly through the house, tidying just a few things. I return the book to the shelf, place the remote in its little tray, smooth out the throw blanket on the couch. If there are dishes in the sink, I rinse them. If the entryway shoes are scattered, I line them up. These are not big tasks. They are small gestures, quiet ways to say, tomorrow, I will welcome you. Next, I prepare a few things for the morning. I lay out my clothes on a chair in the bedroom. I refill my water glass and place it on the nightstand. I double-check that my keys and glasses are where I expect them to be. I might even write a short list of things I hope to do tomorrow. Just a few kind reminders to ease my mind before sleep. This whole ritual takes about 10 minutes, sometimes less, but it changes everything. When I skip it, I wake up feeling scattered, already behind, already untethered. But when I end my day with this small rhythm of care, I open my eyes to a home that feels calm, centered, and ready. And so do I. The nighttime peace ritual is not about doing more. It is about doing enough. It is about creating closure at the end of your day, not just physically, but emotionally. It allows your body to rest, knowing things are in their place. And it allows your spirit to soften, knowing you are held by a home that reflects your love and your attention. You do not have to do everything. Maybe tonight, you simply fluff your pillow and put your tea mug in the sink. That is enough. Tomorrow, you can add something more. Over time, this ritual becomes a comfort, a rhythm that signals safety, order, and grace. So I invite you to try it tonight. Just 10 minutes. A gentle walk through your space. A few small acts of care. And then rest, knowing you have done something kind for yourself and for the version of you who will wake up in the morning. Because you deserve to greet each day, not with stress, but with serenity. And the path to that begins the night before, with love, with peace, and with the simple wisdom of a nighttime ritual made just for you. Now that we have reached the end of our time together, I want to thank you, from the bottom of my heart, for allowing me into your home, and perhaps even into your daily rhythm. These gentle habits we have shared today are not about being perfect or having a magazine-ready house. They are about creating a space that feels like you, peaceful, grounded, and full of intention. Let us take a moment to reflect. We talked about the 2-minute mercy, small acts that prevent overwhelm. We gave everything in our homes a loving, fixed place. We learned to gather with grace, not guilt, using a simple basket. We embraced 5 minutes of evening kindness and cleared our sacred surfaces to make space for breath and stillness. And finally, we brought in 2 special rhythms, one in, one out to keep balance, and the nighttime peace ritual, to end each day with care. You do not need to do all of these at once. In fact, I would encourage you to begin with just one. Choose the one that spoke most deeply to you. Try it for a week. Let it settle in. Let it teach you something about your space, your habits, and your heart. And when it begins to feel like second nature, gently welcome the next. This journey is not about rushing. It is about honoring your life stage and your inner wisdom. You already know what peace feels like. You're simply finding your way back to it. If today's video brought you even one moment of clarity or comfort, I would love for you to join our growing community by subscribing to Wise Elders Insight. You're not alone on this path. Every week, we come together to share tools, stories, and encouragement, all in the spirit of creating homes that reflect who we truly are. And before you go, I would be so honored if you left a comment below. Tell me, which habit will you try first? What small change are you making for your home and for yourself? I read every message, and your voice truly matters here. Until next time, be gentle with your home and be even gentler with yourself. You are worthy of peace, not someday, but today. Always.